Good morning, guys. So in this video I'll be talking about simplifying surds. Now the question is, and I'm sure most people who ever go through maths and GCSE or retake, is what the hell are surds and how do we define them? Well, I always like to think of a surd as, a square root of a number which gives a really messy result. It doesn't give a clean result. So consider these two examples. Okay, that's the best way to explain. So we have square root 49 and square root 50. Now, this really helps that you know your times table, especially your square numbers. So remember, square numbers are like 2 times 2 or 3 times 3, 4 times 4. So it's numbers that multiply against itself, which gives clean answers like 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, and 4 times 4 is 16. So these are your square numbers. And so looking at these two values, we know that straight away that I hope we know that the square root of 49 should be 7 times 7. So this is 7. However, unfortunately, 50 is not part of any square numbers because we just said 7 times 7 is 49. Of course, 8 times 8 is 64. So this is between two square numbers. So in our calculator, what do we call this surd? Well, if we were to actually see the value of it, type in the square root of 50, it tells us that we have 7.07. So this is why we call this a messy number, because the value of a square doesn't give you a nice clean whole number to take home with. Unfortunately, we left with these guys. Okay, and this is therefore called a surd. It's kind of absurd, more like it. Well, that's it really on this one, simplifying surds. So now we know what surd is. Let's go ahead and start simplifying surds, since this is the purpose of the video. Well, let's do the first example. So suppose we want to try and simplify root 50. So this is called root 50. Well, the way it works, we have to consider two numbers that multiply to make 50. Okay, and when I say two numbers, I mean at least one a number. It would be beneficial if it was a square number to simplify. So let's consider. So we got 2 times 25, 5 times 10, and so on. But I like what we just said. I like the 2 times 25 because we know square root 25 is 5. This is a square number. So the way we write it, write 2 times 25 and square root of that. And well, because we're multiplying inside, thankfully, according to the law of multiplication, we could say that this can be written separately. So we can write square root 2 times square root 25. What can we say about square root 25? We know that this is 5. So we have square root 2 times square root times 5. And we can get rid of the multiplication sign and put the 5 in front. So it would just be 5 times root 2. And this would be it. So whole numbers and surds, you just glue them together. But make sure, be careful not to put the 5 inside the root, because this does not go inside the 2. It goes in front. It's a whole number and a surd. You cannot somehow combine into one surd. So this definitely does not equal square root 10. Okay? These are not the same. You cannot multiply inside. So take note of that. Okay, so this is example 1. Now suppose we had another example. Let's try a second one, yeah? Let's do one more. Square root of 40. So once again, two numbers are multiplied to make 40, and at least one should be squared to make this whole simplifying thing easy. So we could have 2 times 20 or 4 times 10. 4 is a square number, okay? 2 times 2, remember. So again, we can put 4 here times 10 and smash a root sign on top. Good. And thanks to the law of multiplication, when you times in two surds inside, you can separate them and stick a times outside. So it'll be root 4 times root 10. Good. And square root 4 we just said is 2 times root 10. And just like we did in the previous example, we just glued them together. So root 2 root 10. And that's it for example 2. I'm gonna make another video. We're gonna call it surds, simplifying surds part 2. And I'm gonna try and deal with more difficult examples. Okay, so see you guys soon. Take care.